Sorry. Hello, it's me again for the day. It's probably me just hearing things. But yeah, here we go with the country. And today we are on Mongolia. So yeah. Here we go, there's a lot, starting off with history as usual. A large number of ethnicities have inhabited Mongolia since the prehistoric times, and most of those people were nomads. And from time to time they formed confederations that rose to prominence but would kind of die away after time. The first of these was Songnu, who brought together a confederation of modern Shanyu in 209 BC. And so there's likely a series of them over the next 1,200 years or so. 1,200, 1,400 years or so. As we take a long jump to 1206, when a man named Genghis Khan, also known as Genghis Khan, founded the Mongolian Empire, which was the largest in history. As I'm sure we all know likely know who Genghis Khan is. As the Mongol Empire's territory extended from present-day Poland to the west, in the west to Korean Peninsula in the east, and from Siberia in the north to the Arab Peninsula and Vietnam in the south, covering approximately 33 million square kilometers. And in 1227, when Genghis Khan's death, the Mongolian Empire was divided into 4 kingdoms. And in 1260, Genghis Khan's grandson Kublai Khan ascended to the throne of one of the 4 kingdoms that encompassed present-day Mongolia, and now China. And in 1271, Kublai Khan formally established the Yuan dynasty, and the Yuan dynasty was the first foreign dynasty to rule over all of China, but until it was overthrown by the Chinese Ming dynasty in 1368. And the Mongol court returned to its native lands. But after centuries of internal conflict, expansion and contraction brought them to the fall of the Manchu Qing dynasty. They conquered Inner Mongolia, and in 1636 Outer Mongolia was submitted in 1691, and for the next 200 years Mongolia was ruled by the Qing dynasty, until 1911, where Mongolia declared itself independence in 1911 under the Khan, BOGD, the spiritual leader of Mongolia, is Tibetan Buddhism. However, the Chinese government still considered Outer Mongolia as a part of the country and invaded in 1919. And in 1921, the People's Revolution won in Mongolia with help from the Russian Red Army, and thus Mongolia became the second socialist country in the world. And after the Khan's death in 1924, the Mongolian People's Republic was proclaimed and the first constitution was adopted. As Mongolia was under a Soviet-dominated communist regime for almost 70 years, which lasted from 1921 to 1990, and in the fall of 1989 and in the spring of 1990, the current political thoughts began to emerge in Mongolia, inspired by glasnost and perestroika in the Soviet Union and the collapse of communist regimes in Eastern Europe. And in March 1990, the democratic revolution that started with hunger strikes to overthrow the government led by the peaceful renouncement of communism, as Mongolia's renouncement of communism led a multi-party system, a new constitution, and a transition to a market economy. Over the past 2 decades, Mongolia has transformed itself into a socialist country with a planned economy and a vibrant multi-party democracy of one of the world's fastest growing economies and all. As Mongolia is the world's second largest landlocked country that occupies territory of 1.56 million square kilometers, and Mongolia is located in the North Asian Asia hemisphere, and is bordered by Russia in the north and China in the south, east and west. As Mongolia is the world's least densely populated country for what it is, with a population of more than 3.1 million people, living in a vast area of 1.6 million square kilometers, as Ulaanbaatar is the capital and largest city and home to about 45% of the country's population. So you'll likely find a large majority of it in Ulaanbaatar. And ethnic Mongols comprise about 94.9% of the population, while Kazakhs make up 5%, and Turk, Chinese and Russians make up the rest of the population, which would be about, doing the maths, be about 0.1%. And Buddhism is a major religion in Mongolia, with a small number of other religions like Islam, Christianity and shamanism and all also reside in Mongolia. As Mongolian is the official language of Mongolia, where 90% of the population speak it, and English is quickly replacing Russian as the most popular language following Mongolian, and many Mongolians also speak Korean, Japanese, Chinese, German and other Western European languages and all. Okay, speaking a bit more about language, as Mongolian is the prevailing and official language of Mongolia, and is the Khalkha Mongolian, which is spoken by about 90% of the population, and is one of the official languages of the People's Republic of China, or Inner Mongolia, which is a part of China still, and has around 6 million speakers all around the world, and considered to be the most recognised in the Mongolic language family, as Mongolian is the language most residents of Mongolia use, as it has similarities to other Mongolic languages like Bonan, Santa and Mongol, in Qinghai and Gansu, Kamigan and Danga in the east, and Greater Mongolia and Sharyuga and is the most likely the extinct Mongol language of Afghanistan. And Mongolian language uses the modified Cyrillic alphabet. So yeah, and most popular foreign languages in Mongolia are English and Russian, although as I previously said, English is quickly replacing Russian and all, as English speaking speakers have been increasingly significant in past years. And the Korean language also has a good load of number of people, especially for those who are working in South Korea. And yeah. Now moving on to legends. Managed to get two. The first of which is on the creation and beginning of the world, as there's no single Mongol account of it, but from a variety of accounts from Mongol tribes of Central Asia, a general outline can be made, and the creation of the world is attributed to a lama named Udan. He is sometimes also conflated with God or Buddha Sakyamuni by the tribes influenced by Tibetan Buddhism, as a primordial world is usually described as being covered in darkness with no separation between the earth and the sky, and the construction of the cosmos proceeds in a variety of fashions, as one account describes 99 golden columns holding apart the sky and the earth. And the description of the world has 3 stories, the upper one being heaven where the gods and goddesses live, the middle one being where Mandor lives like we all dwell, and the lower one being where man goes after death, like heaven is the sky and father of the earth, and earth is the mother of man, animals and all that. Another narrative recounts that when I created friends trying to get in contact. Another narrative recounts that when the Creator divided Earth and created 9-story heaven, a 9-story earth and 9-story river. Rivers, and in some accounts the world first was a vast ocean, but dust and sand rose to cover the ocean surface and became the earth. Another account the land is placed on the back of a golden frog who, with arrows causing fire and water to spew from him in various places. And after the creation, sorry, the first time friends got in contact since the exam on like 2 days ago. Apparently there's going to be highs of 19 degrees in Stockport today, and partially cloudy with a low of 10. After the creation of Earth itself, the first male and female couple were created out of clay, and they would become the first progenitors of all humanity. Kids obviously in a cheery mood. And various tribes and people were replaced there with different characteristics. And in the north, the men were paired with the ears of sexual mates, and this was the spawn of Mongol ethnicity, while the Han Chinese were the spawn of hens, while the Darbed and the Boyet recount that they had a descendants of coupling between hunters and like swan maidens. Another account tells that at the beginning 7 suns rose in the sky, so that the rivers and vegetation on earth dried up, so the people asked the archer Erkai Mergen to shoot the suns out of the sky, and the archer shot down 6, but while he was taking aim at the 7th, the marten flew in front of the sun, and was shot in the tail. And from then on, the marten had a forked tail, and there was a single sun remaining in the sky. And the archer was so distressed that he fled to the steppe, cut off his thumbs in shame, and became an ancestor of the Marmot. And yeah. And I've got one more for you. It was like long ago, Father Heaven had 2 sons, Orgen Tenga and Erlik Khan, as Ulgen became Lord of the Upper World, and Erling Khan became the Lord of the Lower World. And at the time, the earth was covered with water, and there was no land. As Orgen Tenga asked the loon to bring up the mud from below the water to create land, and he was not able to do so, and he was punished by having his legs broken so he could not walk. And the golden-eyed duck was next to bring up land, and it created a small piece of land that Ulgen was able to lay on. As Erlik Khan, seeing that his brother had fallen asleep on the new land, tried to pull the land from under him, but instead the land stretched out in all directions, and as he pulled it, And next, Arlington now created animals and humans out of the mud and spread them out to dry, and he created a dog to keep watch over the bodies of the new humans. He created humans while he was gone, and as Genghis Khan, when I see that his brother was creating humans, came to see the new bodies, so the dog would not let him come close. And at the time the dog could talk and had no fur. It was so cold and snowing, so Genghis Khan tempted him, saying that if the dog allowed him to see the human bodies, he would give him a beautiful fur coat. The dog agreed and was given a shiny, beautiful coat, as Genghis Khan then spat, and the humans would have diseases and would not be immortal. And when Erland again returned, he saw that the dog had fur, and the humans had been damaged, and so he punished the dog by making his coat smelly, taking away his voice, and making the dog follow humans in order to get his food. So yeah, the story of how man gets a best friend. So yeah, I'll see you all. That's Mongolia for you, and I'll see you all later for the news. Yeah, bye for now.